We have the training programs for the GAT leaders. We have the training program for the LCF leaders. We have the training programs for the club leaders, membership, various type of training programs are there, and resource materials are provided to empower them. There are training programs in person, and there are programs online now. A lot of online programs are available. These are the ways to empower them and bring a team, bringing them into confidence, empowering them, and along with that, we have to create an impact. What impact ultimately we are creating by by creating all these membership, by developing membership, by raising funds for the foundation, by organizing training programs. That impact we have to show to the people how we are creating impact, how we are creating impact through our service programs. We have at the club levels, at the district level, at the country level, different level of programs are there, whether the program for a day or online projects or for the permanent service programs. The what kind of impact we are creating, that is very, very important. Whatever programs we talk, the leaders have to lead by example. This is very, very important. Unless we set example by leading ourselves, by doing ourselves, we cannot expect others to perform. There are various examples how we are doing in that lineage. If we talk that every member have to bring new member to achieve the goal of Mission 1.5. At the same time, the leaders have to first bring themselves, either open the new club or bring the new members. Now, various multiples and various districts, they have requested all the cabinet members, all the council members to uh, to sponsor the new members, at least one member, two member, every leader is sponsoring by themselves, bring the new members. Vice governors are asked to open the new clubs. So once they do, they create an example, they can ask to others. Similarly, unless we put hands in our own pocket, unless we donate ourselves, we cannot motivate others to do. We have made now is for every council members in our multiple 322 to donate at least 10,000 rupees. Whatever more you are giving, whatever amount you want to give, you give. But minimum amount, mandatorily, every council member is giving to LCIF. That creates an example that every lion leader, those who are asking for us to donate, they are themselves donating. And once we donate, we have the confidence asking others. Once we sponsor member, we can ask others to sponsor. Once we open new club ourselves, we can ask others to open the new club. That's we have to lead by example, doing ourselves. Similarly, in the service program, we have to first make our home club strong. How we can make our home club strong? We can bring strong membership on the club. There is no droppage. The members are continuing for the long term. We have the good service program, good permanent projects. We are regular donor to the LCIF. This way we can make our home club strong. If we make our home, as a leader, we make our home club strong, we can help others also to make their home club strong, and we can set an example. We have to show them how we are doing, and similarly, they have to do. And we have to show the transparency in everything, whatever we do, whether it is a program or whether it is a financial matter. Transparency is the best example we can set before the community. Unless we are ourselves transparent, we cannot expect others to follow that and do that. So it's very important that we lead by example, we take people along with us, and that's the concept of the servant leadership. There is a speaker here who will speak on the subject. I'm not going to deep into that, but my friend, I will tell, in this rapidly changing world, servant leadership is not just a noble idea. It's a noble idea, but it's not just a noble idea. It's a necessity now. If we want that, we grow our organization, we take people along with us, and we expect our lion members, the team, to perform. We have to follow the theme of servant leadership. People are looking for leaders who care, who listen, and who empower, not who give directions. We have to listen to our friends, our team members, our fellow men, and we have to care for them with empathy and we have to empower them. By embracing service leadership, servant leadership, we can create organizations, we can create communities, and a world that thrives on collaboration, trust, and compassion. Through this theme, we can collaborate and we can make our organization grow further. Where we are, can go much ahead, but we have to follow the certain principles and certain ways of leadership. And this is the way how we can grow our organization. I am grateful to the nagaRAJU for giving me this opportunity, and it's my pleasure to declare this session inaugurated and wish it to be a very, very successful session today, this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that very highly motivational, very brief but comprehensive talk. I think you made a point about the need for empowering, creating impact, modeling, and then being a model to lions, and also at the same time, the importance of servant leadership. Thank you very much. That was a very, very short talk, but at the same time, you covered quite a lot of very important, powerful points, very inspirational. Thanks a lot. Of course, you're always inspirational. Whenever I spoke to you, whenever you spoke to anybody, I think there was a lesson to learn, and there was a lot of very important, powerful messages that you always sent across. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So we move on to the main presentation of the day. The speaker is past District Governor Deepak Bhattacharya. Personally, I've known him for a very long time. In fact, his father was a friend of mine. You can imagine how long ago I was a friend of his, and I've known him for such a long time. So I think he has been a lion for 42 years, but he doesn't look that still. He was a district governor in 2013. And during that year, out of the 600 district governors in the entire world, he was adjudged one of the best 5 in the entire world. And this was a program that was called 4-Star Gold Dream Achiever Award, which he won that year. I think that was very, very unique. I don't think anybody else from India had won that award that year. I think instead of talking to you about the positions that he held, it'll be more interesting perhaps if I talk to him about his accomplishments, especially in the area of CSR. His CSR initiatives have helped Lions benefit. I don't know, the figures that I'm going to give you are so very phenomenal that perhaps you don't believe them. You need to talk to him later to check what they are. 240 crore rupees worth projects have been given to Lions because of his initiatives. I think all of us must applaud that. That's a big achievement. And what does it include? It includes 27 ambulances, 263 RO plants, 36 adult literacy centers, 7 snake bite treatment centers, and 29 solar lights provided in tribal areas, 50 toilets, and providing tricycles to tribal youth, collecting 549 pairs of carnias. 549 pairs of carnias. I think, it just looks like a fantastic story of achievements. Unbelievable. Professionally, he is a designated senior advocate of the High Court in Telangana. What does that mean? A designated senior advocate in a High Court is equivalent to a High Court sitting judge. Right? That is the position that he holds, and he goes to both the High Court of Telangana and also the Supreme Court of India. Since 2015, he has been into this profession. Lionistically, he is a GAT area leader for 2 multiple districts, 316 as well as 320. There is perhaps no award that he has not won. Maybe if I tell you that he is one of the very, 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 very few non-international directors, non-past international directors who has won the Ambassador of Goodwill Award. right? Before becoming international directors, it's very rare that this award is given, and he's one such. And other than that, he won the Bharat Shanti Doot Award in 2020, India Icon Award of par excellence in his legal profession, and the list is very long. I don't want to take his time by talking about him a little more. I invite Dr. Deepak Bhattacharya, area leader GAT, to please come forward and then make his presentation. Over to Deepak.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining this Skill Up session and on the very interesting topic of servant leadership. I profusely thank from the bottom of my heart, Lion G.S. Horaji, a very eminent past international director and present LCI trustee and treasurer, for coming and encouraging me and giving a wonderful message. In fact, in a nutshell, he has already described that who is a servant leader or how to lead like a servant. And thank you, Horaji, for joining us, and particularly in my session as the chief guest and inaugurating the session. I profusely thank from the bottom of my heart, line named nagaRAJU for giving me this wonderful opportunity. It's a wonderful privilege to associate himself. He has established himself as one of the wonderful trainer, not only India, but the entire linguistic world. Today, he is the most sought after trainer in the entire world. And he is the trainer for even the highest training program, that is the LCIP. Dear friends, kindly give your love and affection to nagaRAJU giving by giving. You have that the opportunity to give the necessary applause to him uh, on this particular Zoom platform. Dear friends, before I go into the topic, now our Horaji has already given a nutshell what do you mean by leading like a servant or servant leadership. Can any one of you give what are the characteristics, features, or the quality required to become a servant leader? I'll give you 1 minute time, and on the chat box you can give it, and I'll request line nagaRAJU can read out who has given the answers.
Sure.
The requirement of
The answers have just begun coming, Deepakji. Humility is one quality that Manoj Kumar Purohitji had suggested. And Anand suggests that a servant leader must be a good listener. Listening and empathy are the answers from Dr. Saroj. Selflessness is the answer from Rajesh Shukramani. Understanding the needs and well-being of the team members is the answer from M. Subramaniam. Being empathetic is the answer from Pankaj Poddar. And keep it, this is a compliment, I think. So listening and submission, empathy, these are the answers that are frequently given.
wonderful. I think most of the lines have already visited the learn of our lines portal, and it is already available. And most of you give the correct answer. Really, I bow my head with respect for giving the correct answer to particular this topic. The characteristics, features, or the qualities to become a servant leader. Now, today's session's objective is first define and describe servant leadership, recognize the characteristics of the servant leadership, apply strategies to practice servant leadership. Now, servant leadership's overview. What is it? As Lions, very rightly pointed out by Lion Horaji, that Lions we live by our motto, we serve. A leader, we have the opportunity to modify servant leadership for club and communities members and fellow club officers. So once we have adopted this motto, we serve, it is desired that every line leader should be a servant leader. And what is servant leadership? Servant leadership is a philosophy or style of leadership where a leader do their best to serve others. This differs from others down leadership styles where leadership accrues power from their own satisfaction. We serve motto of Lions Club embodied in our philosophy of servant leadership. Now, one of the most important person who has introduced this servant leadership to the world and defined the servant leadership is Robert K. Greenleaf. He has given a definition. Servant leadership is a philosophy that prioritizes serving others and empowering team. Here, the quote from which it has been derived is, the servant leader is a servant first. It begins with a natural feeling that one wants to serve first. And that is the motto which has now given rise to this wonderful leadership style that is known as servant leadership. What are the key principles for servant leadership? Put other first. Focus on the needs of others. Empower and develop people. Build strong relationship. Foster a culture of trust and respect. Emphasize collaboration of hierarchy. To put others first. Focus on needs of others. Empower and develop the people. Build strong relationship. Foster a culture of the trust and respect. Emphasize collaboration over hierarchy. Now, if you are a club president, you have to practice this. The key principle has to be followed in its true spirit and perspective. If you are a district governor, you have to follow the same. If you want to become a good husband at home, again you have to follow this. Then you have a wonderful family life. Then coming to what are the characteristics of the servant leader? These points have already been narrated by the participant. First is listening. To become a good servant leader, one has to be a very, very active listener, a good listener. Active listening can help leader to build trust, understand the team needs, and develop shared goals. Coming to empathy, empathy is very, very important in the leadership skill, which helps in building strong relationship, impress communication, and create positive work environment. Empathy, creativity, and communication goes together. This applies if you are a director of a company, heading a team in a social organization, or in your social life. Suppose even if a cultural event is there, in that the empathy plays a major role to become a good servant leader. Humility. Humility is not about being weak or submissive. Many people understand that humility means to become weak or become submissive. No, it is about having the courage to admit when you do not know something and being open to learning from others. Like sometimes ego plays a major role, and I don't know something and I hesitate to ask, and at the same time give an impression. And you'll find it in most of the institution or in organization that this particular procedure is followed. People do not try to become a person of humility. So humility is to accept with all need and humility that I am not knowing a particular thing, I want to learn. And then today also, when I am going back after this session, I'll take back lot of learning in my pocket from the points you are giving, from the discussion which has happened, from the chief guest message what has been given, because I try to practice this concept of humility. Then self-awareness. Successful leadership is grounded self-awareness. Self-aware means we made or constantly updating an accurate appraisal of the individual personality of what motivates us, what is our strength and weakness. So we must ourselves know that what is our weakness and what is my strength and how to develop. Now, as a lawyer, I'm a lawyer, and when I go for an argument, I first assessment, I take my self-assessment, how much I have learned in the subject and how much I'm going to submit before the court, and what is the court craft to be adopted. And this comes only on self-awareness. Therefore, I must be aware of my weakness. I must be aware of my strength and present myself. That weakness has to be covered in a proper camouflaging so that I get the adequate result. Then persuasion. Persuasion, not coercion. I made it very clear. Coercion means to force somebody to do something. But persuasion means to plead and get the work done. Art of persuasion is a is a wonderful skill for a leader. Preservation is the ability to influence people and agree with us without using force and manipulation or without any manipulation or coercion. So if I want to get a work done, I have to persuade. See, gentlemen, you know this particular subject over well, and it is we require it, and without you it cannot happen. Kindly do it, and person willingly will come forward to help you out in pursuing in carrying out the goal and completing the goal and reaching the goal. And that is the persuasion method which can be adopted to become a good servant leader. Then stewardship. What is stewardship? A steward is a skilled and knowledgeable leader require core skill to be effective. Now, if I am giving the presentation, if I have not prepared myself, then I am not a proper leader to give a presentation or a trainer to give a presentation. So, when I am going to become a leader, then I must learn and what are the things required to become a good leader. I must be knowledgeable so that I know what I am going to say. It can whatever I say cannot be in the air because my followers is going to follow me. When I create the followers by way of servant leadership, so therefore stewardship is actually very important. Coming to healing, it is a leadership imperative. Leadership heal when we make small changes to deepen communication, empathy, and compassion, where we look for beyond the own interest and make adjustment. Like sometimes it happens that our personal needs come in between, our family needs in come between. We have to go a step forward and make necessary adjustment, so that there is balancing between personal need and also the requirement of my group which I'm going to head. So that healing is very important. Then foresight. Foresight is an essential leadership skill that can help leaders to manage change and to make strategic decisions. A servant leader can understand the lessons from the past, the realities from the present, and likely consequences of a decision for future. So what is required is that when I'm in the decision making process, as a servant leader must know what has gone wrong in the past, what is happening present, and after the decision is taken, what will be the consequences. If you know, then you are a good servant leader who is going to lead in his true spirit and perspective. Then conceptualization. Conceptual skill is an important to navigate complexity and ambiguity. Leaders need not be able to solve problems and identify resources to address challenges in complex and rapidly changing situations. So you have to conceptualize the whole arena of thinking before I take any particular decision, and that is one of the most important characteristics feature of a servant leadership. Then is commitment. Commitment, it is a very important because this commitment create trust in the people. It is a trait of leadership where we require to show dedication, honesty, invest time in the organization, and need team members to lead. My dear friends, it is a very important where if I have given a commitment, I must do it and I must be in time. And for that, if time is required, suppose I have to give 2 hours time, I must at least plan for 3 hours time to be spent particular course in the decision making process. So commitment plays a very major role in this servant leadership qualities. Then coming to building community, one of the another very important characteristics of the servant leadership. He says, understand the community, build relationship. Leader need not build relationship with team members and community to make everyone feel safe, supported, and motivated. If you can create this feeling of that you are safe under my leadership and you are supported with my leadership and you will be motivated, my leadership, then you are building a community. And this community circle from becomes more and bigger whenever we want to grow it. And this is one of the very important aspect of the servant leadership. Then what are the benefits of the servant leadership? Diversity. It is diverse. Any person or any person from any common creed, religion, or from any part of rich or poor can come together under leadership if you are a servant leader. If you express servant leadership in its true spirit, then there is a diversity. Productivity. In servant leadership, when you are arguing, the product, I can say servant leadership can be is a synonymous what with democratic procedure. Now, when you are talking with the people, making them understand and leading them and trying to create leadership among those members of the group, then there'll be definitely good productivity. And if you are an autocrat leader and say that this work has to be done, there may not be a positive result. Then loyalty. You have to create the feeling that I am loyal to my group and the group is loyal to me. And if you are adopting this servant leadership, your group is going to definitely become very, very loyal to you. Tomorrow, if they exceed you, they become a much, much bigger leader than you, but they'll be definitely loyal to you if you have expressed and presented a servant leadership. Involvement. And in this servant leadership, if you are a servant leader, you'll find that there are many, many people are involved in your group work in the decision-making process. Now, suppose you are organizing a program and you are given a task to receive the guest from the airport and the railway station. And if you are not a servant leader and you give a direction that tomorrow morning 7 o'clock, 7 people should go to airport, 7 people should to airport to receive, you'll find that not even 2% have arrived there. They may feel that what is this direction? But if you call a meeting and say, see, this is the problem. I'm here. I'm to take care of the guests who have already arrived. Please help me. Go to airport. Keep them a very, very warm reception and then bring them. You'll find if your task is given to 7, all the 7 are present in the airport. If your task is given to go to the railway station, all the 7 will be over. Therefore, this is very, very involvement is very, very important. Then better decision making. If you are a servant leader, and if you are taking the group along with you, involve the group, the decision making will be process will be much better and will be ultimately you'll become a very good decision maker. The stronger relation with the stakeholder. If you are a servant relationship, now I was the district governor, and even till today, all the 10 region chairmen and all the 31 zone chairmen, we meet once in a year. They show that respect because I could try to be a servant leader and taken the group my way, and that relationship is continuing. I know that relationship what I've developed will continue till I leave my last breath, and that is how we can create stronger relationship with servant leadership style. Improve morale and motivation. See, if you are a wonderful person, if you are a honest, you are a person of integrity, and you also present a servant leadership, you will find that the morale of the group is very high and the motivation is very high. And you will find that even if you are for any reason you are sick, for any reason you are immobile, for any reason you are not in a position to be present in leadership, your group will take you up and present you that particular status of a wonderful leader. And that is how you can improve the model. Then challenges. What are the challenges? Ego and self-interest. Majority of the person will think the moment we become a president of a club, the moment you become the district governor, or you become a president of an association, we don't try to listen to others. You take a policy decision and say it has to be implemented. And I may be having a self-interest in that because I may say that I want to become a council chairman or a international director, and that will be my self-interest. And I want to track my way in such a manner that I give the direction to my group. But that group will definitely not survive a long or will give the proper result as required. But as a servant leader, if you are doing it, you are going to get both the result. Your group will be with you, and they then will pull you to say that you please climb the ladder of the hierarchy in lineism or in social life or in your occupational life. Resistance to change. This is very, very important. Now, now as a father in the house, if I find that our children have a different generation altogether, they are wonderful when it comes to the question of the artificial intelligence comes in the question of operating the computer or a mobile phone comes. But I do not to change. I'll expect my children to do what I was doing as a child. But that cannot happen. And that resistance to change will definitely spoil your family life. And same thing in the organization also, in the Lions Club also. If I suppose I have seen my father was very rightly pointed line that nagaRAJU Garu, that he was the president of his Lions Club of Equity in 1982. The way he was acting, if I follow the same thing today, I'll be thrown out. I'll be a most unsuccessful president because change have gone. Lot of water has flown into the Ganges, and things have changed. Today, our Indian economy is the fifth in largest economy in the world, and economically we are much better as on today. We have so much of advancement in the technology, so therefore we have to not to resist the change. And resisting change is definitely a challenge which has to overcome to become a good, wonderful leader, and more particularly a servant leader. Then power dynamics. Power dynamics plays a major role because power hungry, suppose if I want to say that I want to become a president, then zone chairman, then region chairman. But in this power hungriness, in the power dynamic, I spoil myself, I spoil my reputation. Because every time, instead of doing my delivering, my discharging my duty in a two-spirit perspective, I'll be I'll be thinking of how to climb the ladder of the leadership, how to become a zone chairman. I'll start going behind the concerned governor is coming to ask him to make me the zone chairman. Maybe I may going to the concerned governor to say that I may be the region chairman. And similarly, social life, cultural life also, same thing can happen. So for power dynamics plays a major role where you have to control ourselves to see that the leadership, the servant leadership style is present in this two spirit. Balancing servant leadership with authority. Sometimes leadership trait, you have necessary leadership trait, there are three: autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. All the three is required on taking into consideration the situation. Now, if I tell my wife that today evening a guest is coming for dinner, please provide a very sumptuous dinner and coming after a very long time, that too from the United States of America. My wife finds that there is no the LPG gas at home, it is already over. Then what is the type of leadership style she is going to express? She has to become autocrat. Said, look, husband, get a cylinder, then only I can cook. So sometimes we have to give a balance between the servant leadership and authority. Servant leadership doesn't mean that I have to only go and plead. Sometimes we have to also show the authority to show that I continue to be a good leader, and I tell my group, yes, I am not I'm so expressing laissez-faire leadership, but I am a true leader, and this is my authority. Then measuring success, very, very important. What I am doing, there should be measurable. If I cannot measure that what is my success is, then what is the question of giving a wonderful leadership? The leadership qualities, they also requires the measuring success, and I must have the ability to measure success. If I ignore, then I am not a servant leader. I may become a autocratic leader. Then implementing servant leadership. That is how to implement. Lead by example. If I cannot be a leader who is a honest, who has the integrity, who has got the capacity to take the entire group along, then I am not a true servant leader. So I have to lead by example and have to take the lead. Then only people will recognize it. Then foster open communication. Open communication. See, if I speak behind the back or one to one person, the other may feel that there is some secret communication going on. So we have to encourage open communication, be open to the group, and whatever it is, take the feedback, also open feedback, so that you are in a position to take the group around along with you and extend a wonderful servant leadership. Empower decision making. That decision making, everybody should be taken into confidence. And once the uh, the the answers come from your group leaders and in a group people and the group which you are leading, then automatically, ultimately, you are going to take the decision, and that decision making process will be excellent and may be appreciated by one and one. Develop and mentor others. Yes, mentoring is very, very important. Like our all the five fingers are not alike. In a group also, there may be some who are very, very intelligent, some may not, some may be illiterate, some may be very, very literate, some may be poor, some may be rich, but you have to maintain a balance between them and develop them by good mentorship. And if you are a good mentor, then automatically your servant leadership will focus and you will be recognized as a wonderful leader. Then celebrate successes and learn from failures. Now, whatever has happened, it is not necessary that every time your endeavors, your attempts will be successful. Sometimes you may fail also, but you have to learn from the failures and celebrate the success. If you are successful, then recognize as our last, the eighth code of our code of ethics is very much very, very important. You have to recognize the people for the work done, and you have to celebrate the success, taking them together, saying that you are the cause of the success, you are the cause of my leadership qualities, and then you are a group, and you'll find that group continues to subsist forever. Then call to action, reflect on your leadership style. Now you have to now have a self-assessment. Am I a servant leader? Am I acting as a servant leader? If I am not, then what are the things I am going to do? What are the changes to bring in my personality? And then identify areas for improvement. Then you have to say that these are the areas where I have to improve myself. If I have to come up to like, see, if I want to become a trainer like named nagaRAJU Garu, then automatically I have to first find out that what are my lapses and what are the areas where I have to improve myself to become a good trainer at nagaRAJU. See, everybody has an idol and we have to come up to that extent. Tomorrow I may also become a similar leader, but I have to work for it and I have to identify the areas that where I am lacking and how to do it. Then commit to serving others. Very, very important. It goes with our motto, we serve. Now, my dear friends, can you give some examples of good servant leaders who have born in this world? In the chat box, can you identify any servant leaders who have identified this as good servant leader? nagaRAJU, anybody, any answers?
Yeah, I'm just getting the answers. My own answer is Mahatma Gandhi, and Abdul Kalam is the answer from Menon.
Wonderful. See, Mahatma Gandhi. See,
Aruna Oswal is an answer from Satish Rajhans, and Abdul Kalam is another answer again, and Modi ji is the answer from Muralidhar. Melvin Jones is the answer from Manoj Kumar Purohit, and Arjun in Mahabharat, that is the answer from Piyush Patel. Ashok Mehta is the answer from Santosh Kumar. Swami Vivekananda is the answer from Madhav Reddy, and Dr. Muda says Mother Teresa is the answer. And there are many other answers.
Wonderful, wonderful. Actually, you have already given, that means you have understood the concept of a servant leadership. Mahatma Gandhi ji was never the president of India. Mahatma Gandhi ji was not the prime minister of India. But he has created leaders. Because of him, Pandit Nehru became the prime minister of the country. Sardar Vallabhbhai country became one of the ministers in the first cabinet. And he has created leaders. But in turn, he himself has become the father of the nation. A wonderful example given. I fully agree. He always definitely practiced servant leadership. Martin Luther King He is also another. He led the civil rights movement with non-violent approach and sacrificed his life for social justice. And today you see, he has created so many leaders in US. But today he is looked as one of the most wonderful leader in the entire world. Then comes Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa got the Nobel Prize, but she has very quietly worked for the cause of the poor and downtrodden, and gave the leadership. Today, the entire missionary of charities are the leaders who are serving the people created by Mother Teresa, and Mother Teresa almost has attained the status of a god. Then coming to uh, the essence of Ram Raja, very rightly pointed out, even if you go to the Mahabharata, the Ram Raja concept which is given is also a result of the servant leadership. Then
There are
servant
few
leadership,
other answers, Deepakji. There are answers like Swami Vivekananda, Nelson Mandela,
yes,
Helen Keller, our own Babu Rauji,
correct.
Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa,
See,
and
our leader, international director, Baburab,
yeah.
he himself expressed that he is a person who has given become scratch to rich, and he is so humble and simple. And whenever there is a program, you'll find him just going around the lines, meeting everybody and greeting. And today, everybody is always appreciating the leadership qualities of Lord Baburao. He is a true example of a servant leader. Lord Rama, Lord Buddha, Jesus Christ, they all have given the, the propagated the servant leadership. Swami Vivekananda, see, he is a spiritual leader and also a social reformer, created the Ramakrishna Math, and Ramakrishna Math is producing the leader in the form of the monks every year, undertaking. They are into the social service and working for the cause of the upliftment of the society. And all this leaders care because of the servant leadership style, which was expressed and practiced by Swami Vivekananda. And in Bhagavad Gita also, in chapter 3, verse 16, speaks of servant leadership only. When we have the paucity of time, don't want to go to slokas, but it's a fact that Bhagavad Gita also teaches servant leadership. And without this, how much time I have?
Maybe if you close in the next 5 minutes, we can have some questions,
Okay.
Deepakji.
Right, sir. Then there is a quote, the final thought, which is given by John Maxwell. He says, leadership is not about titles, position, or flowcharts. It is about one life influencing another. Do you agree or not? Leadership is not about the titles. I'm a GAT area leader. Doesn't mean positions or flowcharts. It's about one life influencing another. If I meet any of my friend, Alok Kumar Jha now is the GMT leader, GMT coordinator, he must say that Deepak ji is a very nice person. Then I am successful in my endeavor to show that yes, he is a wonderful leader and he is my follower also. Then a leader is the best when people barely know he exists. When his works is done, his aims fulfilled, they will say, we did it ourselves. See, this is a servant leadership. Sometimes it happens that because of your influence and your advice, your mentorship, somebody may do and say that I did it and I did it myself. Then you are a true leader. That means you are successful in endeavor to create another leader of your nature, of your life. So, my dear friends, thank you for the wonderful opportunity. And again, the person who has given the concept of the servant leadership, Robert K. Greenleaf, said, good leaders must first become good servants. So, therefore, it goes with our motto, we serve. And I know that many of you are already practicing the servant leadership qualities. And I think after this session, I'm also inspired to become more effective a servant leader so that I can be appreciated and the friendship will enlarge from hundred to hundred and who remain my friends till I leave my last day. Thank you for wonderful opportunity and now this is the time for
Thank you, Deepak.
For the question and
Thank you
and
very
answer.
much. We now invite questions, but before we have questions, I've just created, while Deepak ji was talking, I created a poll. I'll show you the poll. The poll has one question. The question is, of all these qualities that Deepak ji talked about, which one do you think is the most important for a servant leader? I think you can see the poll on the screen and you can start giving your answers. The question is, which of these do you think is the most important for a leader to become a servant leader? The 11 points that Deepak ji made, I've just added them to the poll. You can go on giving your answers. Your opinion. Considering the servant leaders that you know, you can choose the answer. As it's obvious, all answers are correct, but your opinion, we are asking for your opinion. Top priority. We'll keep it open for another 30 seconds. Already some 59 people have voted so far. Can we have a few more answers? Good, good, good. So I'm stopping the poll now, and I just would like to tell you what people feel, what others feel, and what is the general opinion of the participants here. So I'm sharing the results. You can see the answers on the screen. I think 31% of the people who have voted think that humility is the most important quality for somebody to be a servant leadership. I also personally agree with that. Thank you very much. There are also a sizable number of people who feel that empathy, active listening are the other important skills demonstrated by servant leaders. So I'm stopping this now. It's question time. Deepakji, there was a question on the chat box
Yes, sir.
about how healing is important for a, what do you exactly mean when you say healing is an important quality for a servant leader? There was a question
Healing is
from Mr. Bala.
yes, yes. That is, it is also a very important imperative leadership style where make a small changes in the deepen communication, empathy, and compassion when you are look beyond our own interest and make adjustment. Making adjustment is one of the very, very important aspect of healing because sometimes we may some of your group member may get hurt for some reason or the other, and there you have to make adjustment. Or suppose you are not giving time, your meeting is called, you are unable to come for some reason or the other. Then you have to compensate by calling another meeting and dedicating your time. That is also a part of healing activity what you can undertake to dissolve the sadness which may come in the group, to resolve any dissatisfaction which may come. The healing quality should be there to resolve such disputes and such circumstances which may come while leading as a servant leader.
Thank you. The next
Any other
question is
question?
from Ravindra Pradhanji. I am unmuting you, Ravindra Pradhanji. You can ask your question.
Okay. Okay, my question is, what are some common misconceptions about servant leadership and how they can be addressed?
The misconception is that you pretend to be a servant leader, but you are actually not. You give a only a statistical information, and then you try to tell them that you are my group and you are I love you, I and you are, and we go together. You host a cocktail party, but that is not sufficient. That is a misconception. Servant leadership is you have to practice all this style and very very all these examples are to given like Mahatma Gandhi ji or Swami Vivekananda or any leader like your our Khaitan ji from Nepal. They are all servant leader. Today, Nepal is doing so much. You know why? Because your Ketanji, PID Ketanji is a true servant leader. Because of because Nepal is growing in membership. Apple is going chartering so many new clubs and created a world record. Such a small country.
Yeah. Any other question? Dr. Saroj has a question.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
My
madam.
question is, what are some practical steps we can take to implement servant leadership in our daily life?
Actively, I said adjustment is the most important. Adjustment, the empathy, and you must be a good listener in the daily life, particularly in the domestic life.
Yeah. Lion Murlidhar.
Yeah, my fantastic speech we had today. My question to the Deepak sir is how to adjust your self-respect and egoism with this servant leadership.
That is a sacrifice. Sometimes you may be hurt because your reputation is hurt. That you have to overcome to creating a group. Now, suppose somebody has paid and somebody has tarnished your image, then in your group you have to create that sensation. Yes, that I am so hurt that such and such can happen, and it is the group will be taken up and taking up the issue and say that, sir, you are absolutely not wrong, and it is we are sorry that your reputation is hurt or tarnished, and we'll definitely speak to the person who are responsible for transitioning me. That is how we get the result back in servant leadership.
Lion Shruti.
Yeah, happy evening, sir. Thank you so much, Deepak sir. Today you have given a wonderful session. So when I was listening to your lecture, I could remember one thing like Yatha Raja Tatha Praja.
Yes.
When a leader is good in all ways, and definitely when we follow the Raja, all the subordinates will become a leader one day. That's what I would like to share with you. Thank you so much and have a good night.
Now, the classic example is what is going on in Bangladesh. How was Sheikh Hasina and now how the present president is acting.
Thank you. The next question, please. While the next question comes on, I just would like to ask you, all of you, do you think Lionism is a wonderful platform to promote servant leadership? If yes, you can show thumbs up on the screen. If yes, on the screen, I mean, not the foot, yeah, better. The virtual thumbs up is better. Oh, lovely, lovely. That's beautiful. I think we are in the right place to practice servant leadership. And then whatever position we hold, starting from a club level leader to the global level, whatever position we hold, I think there are plenty of opportunities for us to practice servant leadership. Because, I mean, a leader in Lionism is not an autocrat, dictatorial. And I think it's a wonderful opportunity for all of us to become and to evolve into servant leaders by practicing all the features of a servant leader that Deepak ji has told us. Good. Are there any other questions? Yeah, Murlidhar has another question.
I'm sorry, I'm putting more questions. I mean, these servant leadership, is it to the lions or to the other people?
For everybody, sir.
For
Even as a husband, you'll be a very successful husband if you practice servant leadership. As a company's managing director, as a servant leader, you'll be definitely very, very well successful. Because all this leadership trait has to be followed in his true spirit to become a wonderful husband, wonderful brother, wonderful professional.
Thank you. Any other questions? Anybody would like to share any experience of yours? Of course, very shortly, half a minute. Within half a minute, you must tell us your best servant leadership experience. When was it that you practiced? How did you practice it? Where was your opportunity? Anyone? We have a little time left. Dr. Arya, do you have a question?
Hello.
Yeah.
If our organization is so good, why we are struggling to add member and join? Means यदि अपना ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इतना अच्छा है तो हम लोग को इतना मेहनत क्यों करना पड़ रहा है लोगों को ज्वाइन करने के लिए?
ये मेहनत की बात नहीं है रजनीश जी. इसका है that is if everybody practice servant leadership, these problems will not be there. In our club, we have no problem of membership. We are already now 223, and people still want to join. Why? Because in our club we are practicing servant leadership. We go to take along people along to others and together. And membership क्या है? It is not difficult to join provided you create the confidence. If you are a good travel servant leader, you will take the group into confidence and tell them, please, Alliance Forum is a wonderful forum where you can come and serve. Our motto is we serve, and you can do it.
Dr. Arya, your question, please.
Sir, in challenges, you said the number one, ego and self interest.
Yes.
Definitely, we'll be having our own self interest, like we are also human beings, and controlling our ego, and some situations where we cannot control our ego, and with some situations where we cannot tolerate the behavior of the people, that becomes a little problem on and then, sir.
Yes, that's true. But you have to create a balance between them. I cannot say that a person should not have ego. He can have the ego, but you have to balance, and that's the reason you have to practice the leadership, right? And create and slowly. Even I have seen many persons who are not servant leaders, but subsequently in days by practicing, they become good servant leaders. It can happen provided you concentrate and practice.
Before I invite the next question, I just would like to read what Mizban has written. She says the best servant leader, in her opinion, is the one who creates other leaders.
Right.
Somnath, your question, please. Somnath.
Okay. First thing I would like to say that all the points here are being utilized by myself. Incidentally, I was the founder chair of IEEE Reliability Society in India at Hyderabad, and within 2 years of my tenure, having only 20 members in our chapter, we became world number one in 2022 and 2023. And I followed all the points where Deepak Bhattacharya sir has told. And personally, I know him for the last 25 years through Bengali Cultural Societies. And I try to follow. And my point is that any system sustainability should also think about how it may fail and how failures can be mitigated. So I always propose that Reliability Society can cooperate with Lions Club of India and give much more benefit to the society.
Thank you, Somnathji. Thank you for that comment and also your experience. I think we are almost at 10:15 now, and then we need to close in the next 2 or 3 minutes. So there are 4 or 5 people who have already risen their hands. So we'll extend the meeting by 2 or 3 minutes. So those who have already risen the hands will get a chance. So be very quick and be very short. Your question, straight to your question. Manorama, please.
Thank you for inviting me for this meeting. And my classmate is Deepak. I'm so thankful he invited me to attend this meeting. Servant leadership is one thing I practiced from zero and I reached 100%. I would like to share a little bit of what I won. If you can see this, I'm a Toastmaster. I was
Your
chosen
video
as
is
the
off.
division.
Manoramaji, your video is off. We cannot see it.
Manorama is from United States,
Okay,
US.
your video is not switched on.
I'm trying to. Okay, here it is.
Ah, yeah, we can
This
see
is
it.
the one I received
Wow, beautiful.
from Toastmasters. I've been with Toastmasters for 13 years now. And when I put my servant leadership to work, this is what I got. I was the division director of the year for the year 2020. And this is awesome. This is amazing. You have to apply that to your everyday life. You may be a husband, you may be a wife, you may be a sister to siblings, but when you apply it, it really works. First, when I saw servant leadership, it was my boss in Toastmasters coming all the way from his house, driving 55 miles just to leave some brochures on my doorstep. And I said, how could a director do this? It touches the core of your being. So I'm so thankful. I know others have to get their time also. I'm so proud of my classmate, Deepak Bhattacharya. Back to you.
Thank you, Manoramaji. Thank you very much for that comment
Thank
and
you,
all
Manorama,
that.
for joining.
I mean, your own personal experience. We'll just take two more questions because we are short of time. The last two questions will come from 15112288. I don't know who that is. So in case we know you can say your name and also ask your question. 5112288. Who is that?
Yeah. Namaste all. This is actually Lion Jeet Kaur from District 320B. Sir, I wanted to know the difference between I means position, ego, and self-respect.
Yes. I means always I feel that I'm something and I must do it, and that is definitely coming out of the ego you have. And self-respect is different. Self-respect means that you value the respect, whatever position you have attained, and what are the quality you bring, that should be respected by the people, and that is the self-respect. And self-respect should always be protected. And how to protect? I've already said that you have to keep a group and see that your image is never tarnished and your self-hatred is not hurt.
All of you. This is wonderful that there has been a good gathering today, and then the presentation has been extremely insightful and quite exhaustive. He gave lots of tips to us, and I'm sure everyone has understood what servant leadership is and also lots of tips to practice servant leadership. The next program is on the 26th of this month, and the presentation will be made on that day by Lasanta Pereira. So the Lasanta Pereira is going to talk on troubleshooting skills, which again will be extremely useful everybody, not only for lions. So this is a skill that's going to be useful for trainers, lions, non-lions, and everybody. So Lasanta is here. I request him to propose a formal vote of thanks and invite all of us to the next presentation on the 26th December. Lasanta. What you see on the screen is my mobile number 9866411211. In case you wish to receive my future notifications of the SkillUP programs through broadcast messages, you need to add my number to your contacts and you have to send me a hello so that I'll know who you are, and then I'll start sending individual messages to you apart from the group messages. Thank you very much. Once again, the program is now over.